Okay, and we'll do our own countdown for starting the episode.
All right, cool. 3, 5, 4.
5. Yeah, 3. Yeah. Wow, this is going good.
Okay. It's maths, innit? All right, 5, 4, and a 3.
Of course.
And a 2 and 1.
Yeah, so we're not going to take this one too serious. It's the chase. We've got drinks. Ben's back for his 3rd visit.
I came for a Dalek trilogy, technically, if we're counting the little cameo in the Space Museum.
Well, great news. Welcome to the chase.
Oh, yeah, where's Bradley?
Oh, Bradley Walsh. He couldn't make it for this one, bud.
He's been ghosting me for ages.
This week, we have Barbara and Ian from Shoreditch, Dracula from Transylvania, and Doctor Who from Gallifrey. Can they beat the chasers? Bum, bum, ba-da-ba-da-ba-bum.
So, can we just talk about how you would not get this from any other era of the show, maybe not from any other season? I would say this is the definitive Hartnell story.
I'm a big fan of The Chase. I think it's the best Dalek story, which is an insane comical statement, but I'm an insane comical man sometimes. But just look at what's on screen. Look how genuinely ambitious this effect is. Look how dinky and adorable it is. And I genuinely can't understand a single complaint with the story. Even down to that cardboard cutout of a Dalek being lowered.
Computer reading 15 minutes.
Unironically, I like this for how pathetic the Daleks are. I think it's like an intrinsic part of their DNA. Like, I like them being badass, but I also like them as terrified pushovers.
Because the space Nazis and Nazis are pathetic. I don't think that's a controversial statement. And it's worth putting them in something like this because the whole first 2 seasons of the show are about the Doctor mastering time travel. He has had to survive the worlds he's in. And now the Daleks are being put through pretty much the same trials as him. And they're coming up short, which is, it's really satisfying. This is the kind of thing you do with the Doctor's arch enemy.
Is this outlandish, a fish out of water comedy for the Daleks?
They're not having a great time. There's a bit in part 5 where one of them tries to call in a sick day after getting into a battle with a plant. They've just, as this goes on, they've had enough. And quite frankly, I need to salute the first Dalek to dodge the draft.
But that's exactly it. Take them out of their element, and that, I think it's mesmerizing. I think it's so fascinating having just Daleks just around the place in places you wouldn't expect to see an alien. And some have described that as being the key to Doctor Who's success. Window shop dummies, or seeing a big bog monster in Downing Street. It's like, there's something to that.
Yeah, there is actually stakes to this. The Daleks are chasing them through time and space. The TARDIS is almost like a trapdoor to if there's any danger, they can always escape at any time as long as they can get back to the TARDIS. But even leaving a story isn't going to save them in this one.
It's so transgressive, it's almost a fourth wall break for kids back in the 1960s.
The Daleks can now do Doctor Who's thing. So they can now escape their own adventure. They can follow the Doctor into the next one. They've broken the boundaries of the show, of serialized fiction, without making it sound too grandiose.
It's kind of like when bad guys would be able to get into the TARDIS, or even steal the TARDIS. The TARDIS is a metaphor for the show, so it is kind of like this villain has kind of taken over the show.
That's more to what you were saying. They are genuinely scary whilst being at their wobbliest. The fact that they've invaded in a new way. They've done London, they've come to your home, and now they've invaded your TV set.
Whereas your heroes are just relegated to the position you are. At the start, they're just watching TV, and yes, I am curbing this from TARDIS Hereditorum. This is my life now. I just recite blogs. This is all fandom is. Oh, it is really funny that retroactively that the Daleks built the Empire State Building.
They're also just eluded by it as well.
This looks very efficiently designed. I bet a Dalek had a hand in this.
Oh, how have we glossed over Morton Dill.
Well, dang me, I ain't done it again.
This is the Morton Dill episode. Like, nothing else
Oh.
of substance happens here. We spend a exuberant amount of time with this southern character.
Verity Lambert just looked at Peter Purvis and said, I think it was to the director, who's he? He's really good. He should be the next companion. He should replace Ian. But we've already got him doing this. I don't care. Just bring him back. No one's going to care. We're 60s Doctor Who. We can do this.
But, like, it's literally like 2 episodes apart. He's a new character, a new equally strange character with a teddy bear. Then they dial him down. Like, the second the chase is over, Stephen's a very normal guy, and they don't want Peter Purvis playing a cowboy, and it's a bit of a shame. The fact that there's multiple different Stephens around the place. He's a proto-Clara. There's multiple Stephens to save the Doctor's timeline. I was born to save the Doctor.
It is actually very similar to Clara, The Massacre, and Kill the Moon. Try and watch those back to back.
It's well documented that Morton Dill is sent to a loony bin after this story. He's talking about metal monsters. And the only reason this Dalek here leaves him alive is because it took absolute pity on him. The Dalek was like, this creature is so fucking pitiful. It would be crueler to leave him alive.
It's a fate worse than death.
Like, the Dalek was time sensitive and in this scene is looking into his future. I find it such a funny leap.
My boy, you come all over in blue spots. What's this thing here?
How cool is it that the show is laughing at Daleks? It's cool. At the height of Dalek mania.
I kind of wish we could go back to this. I mean, I think Eve of the Daleks is kind of the closest you can do to that. But then again, you've got to wrestle with the old Rob Shearman point about the Daleks from Jubilee.
I'd really like to get back to this kind of story. Like, if the revival has returned, it's a different place every week, sure. But, like, this is Doctor Who doing variety show elements. And I think it's so welcome. I think it's like a short film anthology. If you don't like this story, fair enough. The next one will be along in 15 minutes.
I also just want this tone back. This is a season finale. This is Doomsday, but it's also
Excuse me?
wacky. It's yeah.
I need you to elaborate. I know a companion leaves and it's all very sad, but I'm going to need you to elaborate.
This is the most dramatic this era got, and it's it also looks and sounds like this, and I want that back. I know that the typical model of shows usually is to go darker in the second series after the Buffy tradition, but I don't know. I want to see a show finally just go wackier in its second series. It kind of doubles down on that zaniness. I kind of think that's what they should have done for season 12.
And I've got to wonder, do you think the production team groaned whenever they saw they had a Terry Nation script next?
Oh God, there was exhaustion from some of the guys when they were looking at this. They're like, oh fuck, we've got to do this. All right, come on.
You must be so pissed. You've just done Keys of Marinus, which is the most demanding production design set of the entire classic series. And then the fucker's asking for the Mary Celeste and the Empire State Building and a jungle planet and a robot city. But to be fair, to their credit, nothing's wobbling.
No, it's great, and it's very impressive when you consider that a lot of the reason the serials lasted as long as they did was budget saving. This is the antithesis of what really they should be doing with their resources, but they did it anyway, and God bless them for it. I guess it's a lot of old costumes. It's not spaceships. It's not an alien planet. It's not the Web Planet. We're not watching Web Planet, and that's always lovely.
This has stage play energy. There's just a joy in walking around a set and taking in the world of where you've landed this week. And the chase is 80% that.
I always see the Hartnell years, and to a lesser extent the Drowned years, as live plays.
I remember going to the BFI and Peter Purvis just going constantly no, we did it live. We did back in the day. We did it in one. And I was like, dude, I just asked about Chumblies. The Daleks look nervous as they attack. Is that just me? Am I humanizing them? And right here, of course, we have our first mass suicide in a British children's TV show.
Maybe.
It has to be the first dead baby of the series, right?
Wait, do not move. Answer my question.
Please, just stay where you are and answer my questions. Please. I won't take too long.
Honestly, the fact that they have trouble getting around the sets, doesn't that kind of work for the fact that they are so out of their elements? That's the worst excuse I've ever given. Don't that. That was crap.
Hey, I've come up with worse. Dalek! Dalek suicide.
And they're like, right, we are not talking about that. We are not talking about this.
Oh, it's great. It almost looked like it chucked itself in the water on purpose. It's just like, it'll be quicker.
They're scared. This is their first foray into the big open wide world, maybe.
They're just small boys taking on the big city.
I love this effect. I love this effect so much.
Man, if we thought the Daleks were scared before, they're about to go into a journey into terror.
Happy Halloween! This is my favourite episode of Classic Who. Like, an individual episode. This is it.
This is not surprising to me at all. If I had to build a psych profile for you, Sam...
Please don't.
It's Scooby-Doo meets the Daleks, and it's you all over.
It's a good moral in not taking Doctor Who too seriously. You know, like none of it makes sense, and it's great for that.
Has there been? I know this tried to basically explain what happened. It gives a decent explanation, which is the mind robber early, and then it just gives an explanation at the end, which makes no fucking sense.
That just leaves me with further questions. Yeah, no, there isn't a proper good answer. Some people have tried, like the novelization for The Chase really doubles down on the whole. It's a fairground from the future. But that implies they created ride animatronics that could defeat Daleks and walk on their own.
There are these funny little moments in Dalek Story, the previous ones, even though they're taking Daleks deathly seriously. You've got Susan having a quick joke with one in the Daleks, and you've got the killing a mannequin moment in Dalek Invasion of Earth, which happens after a really bleak moment.
Not to mention the episode right before this.
As well as teasing, the Daleks are going to be back next week, it's also kind of like, it's okay to laugh at Daleks. Anyway, I've got a rule. We have been drinking this entire time. It's The Chase. Of course we're fucking drinking. I'm going to take a shot every time we see Dracula. And I know how many times we see Dracula. It's 3 times. 2 times? Regardless, I have shots. This is the news. Oh, let's do a stock check. What are we drinking tonight, Ben?
Just a Rioja. The Chase deserves nothing but the closest thing I have to a classy drink.
I have grabbed a little bit of everything, which I think is also very apt. Blackcurrant vodka.
I think that was in one of the goblets that the Doctor turned down on Khan during Night of the Doctor. It was a near miss. You drink that, who knows what you turn into.
Nah, man, that's just turning me into a warrior. I think a lot of people think my love of the goofier Doctor Who stuff is just like, he just doesn't take it that seriously. No. I take Doctor Who definitely seriously. You should see this from me on Twitter. But like, this story is objectively big. It's objectively bombastic. It's cutting edge, and it is impressive. I'm genuinely wowed by everything it's doing. I think the effects are cool. I think Frankenstein's dope. You know, it's earnest. It's earnest love. Oh, Dracula drinking. Oh, fuck. Oh, that is like ghoulish drink.
And this is the moment that broke Barbara.
She leaves at the end of the story.
She finally snapped.
This was the moment Barbara said, I can't keep doing this. I'm a school teacher, and I just met the Dracula.
Oh, no, sorry. This is the moment that broke Barbara. That look. That wide-eyed look.
It does seem to really affect her. Even though we're in the most cartoonish, like, peer amusement ride ever. You said earlier how this is one of the only remaining mysteries of the show. Like, what the fuck was this? What the fuck was going on here? I do find it a bit depressing that some canon has tried to come in since and explain it. There was one that said it actually is the Mind Robber. It's the land of fiction trying to bridge a gap early. And I'm like, cool, yeah, no, I do like the Mind Robber. But can't it just be some weird thing Hartnell theorizes about?
So I'm trying to come up with an even stupider theory.
I am Count Dracula, and I was sent by faction paradox to avert the war in heaven. What's the war in heaven? Don't worry about it. Oh, and by the way, Count Dracula did actually battle in the war in heaven. I love this series.
So the one thing I am conflicted about is that I often slam the Keys of Marinus. I had to do it once in a podcast once. I do think it's junk. This is Keys of Marinus again.
I do think there is just a gradual improvement with each one.
Is it just because there's Daleks? Am I really that fickle? Oh, Dracula's back. Shot. Fun fact, you know this. I did once play Dracula in a fan script read of this very story. So I was blurring it up, and I wasn't content with the few lines I had. So once we left this haunted house, Dracula did start appearing in other stories as well. But he's on Mechanus.
The Dracula era, Big Finish box set coming soon.
And he was on the Dalek ship giving out his weird opinions.
Oh no, what opinions, Sam?
What opinions did Dracula have? Dodgy ones, I'll tell you that, friend. Weird stuff going on.
Embark, skedaddle. They do not want any of this. They don't know what the fuck they just walked into.
This is what they should have done with Mary Shelley in Series 12. They should have just taken her here. Happy Halloween! Don't ask, we don't know. All the production team just shrugs. Oh, this is my favourite kind of Dalek voice. The ones that talk like this!
Success! Paramount success! It is impossible to distinguish from the original.
I can't believe they got William Hartnell in. The William Hartnell. Okay, I know we've made a lot of excuses for it. I actually kind of like that he doesn't look at all like Hartnell from a distance. But, I don't know, the actor also just looks ghoulish. He looks genuinely scary.
It's very TV annual. Even if this was an illustration in a TV annual, I don't think it would look like Hartnell. You know what I mean?
I would do a Hartnell impression if I could. I don't think I could do justice to that, man. I've heard some, great Hartnell impressions, but it's just, don't think we always give him credit for the performance that he did. If you listen to interviews with him, he sounds kind of like David Bradley. He really did create a character. He wasn't just playing himself like John Pertwee or Tom Baker was. The fact that he put this much effort into a kid's show,
yeah,
and he was so invested in it, it brings a tear to your eyes.
One is a properly impressive performance. I love it. And you know what? You can't do a Hartnell impression. I can't do a good Hartnell impression. That's fine, because neither could his duplicate. He can't do it either.
It's slightly undermined by the fact that I don't think the door has opened properly.
I think with the main characters leaving at the end of the story and the Daleks so firmly defeated, the chase would have been a good ending to the whole show. Like a hypothetical, earlier, simpler, purer show.
So, Sam, do you want to help me scrap all the other Doctor Who stories that came after the chase?
Well, I'm glad there is more. I'm quite fond of what comes after as well, you know.
I know you were joking, but the Doomsday comparison has sort of sat in my head this whole time. And in terms of interpersonal character drama and vulnerability, yeah, this is pretty much an apex. Which is pretty impressive for something trying to be a 1960s TV budget blockbuster.
Oh, The Death of Doctor Who. That is such a melodramatic clickbait title, and I love it. Yeah. Even when it's good, the show knows it's always going to be a little bit shit. And that's the takeaway.
Beautiful. Beautiful.